Hi, I'm going to talk about the endocrine system, and first we're going to talk about the pituitary. And the pituitary has the PRL, which is the prolactin, which is milk production, and there's the GH hormone, which is growth, and then the ACTH, which is the adrenal corticotropic, which is like the hormone, stress hormone. And then the LH luteinizing hormone, which regulates sex hormones, and the FSH, which is the follicle stimulating hormone, which is sperm and egg production. And then there's oxytocin, which is like the contractions in labor. And then there's the ADH, which is antidiuretic hormone, which is like water balance. And then I want to talk about the thyroid, which is right here. And what that does is there's T3 and T4 for energy, and then there's like the calcitin, which is like calcium for the bones, since there's the heart right there, and then the adrenaline, which is right there, and what that does is the epinephrine, which increases heart rate, and then aldosterone, which maintain blood pressure, and then the cortisol, which stabilizes like blood glucose, and then the sex hormones, which is like female and male functions, and then there's the kidney, and kidney's right there behind the adrenaline, and then there's the testy right here, and that's just like testosterone, like the male development, and then the ovary, which is right here, and that's just like estrogen, which is the female development. And then there's the pancreas right there, and it has insulin, which uptake of glucose, and then there's glycogen, which like raise blood glucose or blood sugar. And then there's the stomach, and the stomach is right there, and what the stomach does is I don't really need to describe that, but the next one is the thalamus, and there's the thylamosis, which is immune function, and then there's the parathyroid, which is like it has PTH, which is a parathyroid, and that's calcium from bones, and then the pineal body, which is like the melatonin, sleep cycles, and then like the melatonin sleep cycles, that's why they have like the melatonin medicine. And then I'm going to talk about the hypothalamus, and that's right there. And then I want to talk about the negative feedback. Negative feedback is right here. It goes control, and the control center, which is like the cells secrete insulin. The beta cells can secrete insulin, and then the next one is the effector, which is just like the insulin, which promotes movement of glucose into certain cells, and then stimulates formation of glycogen. And then there's like the response, which blood glucose level just like turn to normal and inhibits insulin secretion. And then I want to talk about, I'm going to go to stimulus. And there's like the normal, too high, too low, and then I want to talk about the stimulus. And the stimulus just that is the part that it just like blood glucose level decreases. That's where it decreases. And then the receptor right here, that just like alpha cells sends to the decrease in the blood glucose, and then it goes back to the control center right here, and the control center alpha cells secrete glycogen. And then there's the effector right here, and the effector glycogen stimulates liver cells and to break down the glycogen into glucose, and it stimulates liver cells and just to convert non-carbs into glucose. So, and then I want to talk about the response, and the response is just blood glucose level hormones, just returns toward like normal and inhibits the, sorry, my phone was dying, inhibits glycogen like secretions. And then I want to talk about the stimulus, and that's just glucose level increases. And so like going down, it decreases, and going up, it's increasing. And that's what I've been learning, or I learned while going over this a couple times. And then the receptors, that's just like beta cells sense the increase in blood glucose. Next, I want to talk about the positive feedback loop, which is right here. And that is like the positive feedback loop, the stimulus. That is when like the baby sucks on the breast, and then the receptor, it just sensory receptors and skin of the breast detect the sucking and send impulses to the hypothalamus to say like, oh, we need milk. And then sending it to the hypothalamus, and then the control center, the hypothalamus, signals the posterior pituitary to release oxytocin, which, if you remember, what is oxytocin? It's the hormone that just like contractions in labor. And then the next one is that, so oxytocin is released then, and then it goes to the effector, which breast is stimulated to eject breast milk, and then the breast milk is released, and baby feeds and keeps sucking. The end. That's the endocrine system. Good night.